the way to the max.
We
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
Ay.
This shit slap, this shit black.
shit
Tell the
black,
DJ, won't you bring that back?
Bring
Turn
that
this
back.
motherfucker up, had the whole club spin.
Messing with James. I ain't
Me
saying
too.
mess with him.
Go for
I ain't
it.
saying I ain't mess with him now. Through a high
Yeah,
school.
I tripping.
Hey James, look, man,
He might have got put on a soda can. He might have got put on a machine twice or two. You know, I'm not saying.
He ain't never do that shit.
Hey,
Go
look,
ahead, Brandon.
now I was gonna say, bro, like, you know, we can't even be out here focused about whether or not we're gonna be here or not. We just kind of gotta do what we gotta do. I feel like as long as you got a mission, you got life. You feel me? So, you know, it seemed like people get taken before their mission's complete, but they don't know what the completion of their mission really is. You feel me? So you just kind of just gotta go for it, because at the end of the day, you might just be the one who's handing off the baton. You might not be the leg. So you gotta remember that. So and I think that's the most important part about life, is that we can't worry about what place we have on the relay. We just gotta run our leg. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I think that keeps the focus off of death, and it keeps you living. You know what I'm saying? Because that person on the first leg got to run just as fast as that person on the last leg, and everybody in between, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's God's choice on who he puts in the spot. And so as long as you keep that focus, you ain't gonna be worried about life or death, bro. You've been through what you've been through because you about to use it. And I want to see you use it, bro.
Yeah, it just like I was telling you the other day, bro, when you were saying what you were saying, like how, bro, I don't know if something happened to me, I'm not supposed to be here. I always told you, bro, you always gotta be positive. Like, you gotta switch the way you think. And like, the best way to change the world is through our children anyways. We got to educate them the way we know they're supposed to be educated. Because, you know, like with us, our parents did the best that they could. They grew up in a whole different situation with us than us. We know better. So, like, we got to educate them with the knowledge that we got. Like, they don't got to go through the same thing our parents went through. If they do, that's on us.
Yeah.
And you can't.
I think that's a perfect segue into the question. When I think you guys are, for me anyway, is what you would tell, like, based on all your experiences now and the men that you are now, what would you tell your younger self, your high school self, as well as what you're saying right now, that you all have children? What would you also tell your children now, based on what you've learned through your high school till now, that you think is very important? Because you're already kind of saying what you're saying right now.
I gotta answer this too when they finish.
Yeah, let's go on a rotation.
I would say stack your paper up. I would say stack your money up and stay focused. Don't get sidetracked. Stay focused on your goals. That's it. That's the main two things. Don't get sidetracked. Stay focused. Stack your paper.
Yes.
Go ahead, Keith.
With me, I would tell my high school self, be humble. See, a lot of it was about me not being humble and not being receptive and being rebellious. My older self, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm way more humble now. It would be, and like what I would tell my sons is, well, I already tell my 11 and 12-year-old, like, whatever you do, right or wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? Hold your head up. Don't never put your head down. Because whatever decision you made as that man, you know what I'm saying? Be that man, whether it goes right or whether it goes wrong. But I also try to tell my sons when they were younger, even younger than they are now, like, the perception of reality that you have right now is, at that age, is the beliefs and things that you form going forward. And you always have to be receptive. So that's what I would tell my sons. And he's definitely going to know, because he's going to catch baby drill sergeant out here. No, I'm not going to be hard on him, but I got to let him know. And, like, if I arm you with all the tools, then at the end of the day, like, it's no books of being like, they got books on it, but it's like no perfect way to raise your child. And so every child is different. And I have a son who has autism, so I had to I had to deal with him different than I deal with my 11-year-old, and I had to deal with him differently. It's just it's all about patience, you know, and when it comes to my kids, it's all about patience and trying to install the values that weren't installed in me as at their age, and that's what I do.
Conway.
Oh yeah, I was gonna let the old heads go. You know what I'm saying? Not old heads, but my seniors. You know what I'm saying? My peers who.
All right, next time I see you on the
Can't
field,
tell.
right?
Everyone looks the same age.
I would say
legal hit and all that.
I would say for myself, when I was in high school, I wish I would have went to school more. I would skip school way too often. I used to work at Ross, Dress for Less, so I used to just skip work. I used to just skip school just to go to work. You know, my mother was from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't buying her school clothes. I wouldn't want to put that burden on her. You know what I mean? For the stuff that I want. So I was like, well, shit, this work right here. So, you know, and then I wish I was a little bit harder. I had a band in school in my high school year. I had put I was able to finesse the principal, Miss Dixon. You know what I mean? To have like a go-go band.
Miss Dixon, people ain't give her no love for.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, keep in mind, like everybody on the band, damn near was bad as shit. Like you wouldn't even get her to sign off on the shit, but I was able to just a sweet talker and smooth talker, you know what I mean? And she allowed me to have a band and use the equipment. We had to bounce around from house to house. Hosni, you already know. You know what I'm saying? We used to bounce around in XYZ, but then I was able to just finesse it to the point where we was able to have the band perform at the teacher versus students game that year. You know what I mean? And for myself, when I got out of school and I was working, you know what I'm saying? I had my credit. I was focusing on credit already in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like how I could finesse it in XYZ, and was working in XYZ. But I had my child. I had my child 3 years after school, and partner didn't have work ethic, didn't know how to work. You know what I mean? So it was like double the load was put on me. You know what I mean? So I had to take a few steps back in XYZ. But what I would tell my children is to make sure that you have determination and ambition in everything that you do. Just as I was able to come out and I had a child 3 years. I published my book 3 years out of school too, because all the work that I was doing, you know, and I was never really good at marketing, because I wasn't really a good people's person. I wasn't the one that you would see in school trying to be in the mix of everybody, trying to talk and be seen and XYZ. I just kept it moving. Mm-hmm. So a part of me was I was cool, but I wasn't as friendly because I wasn't, you know what I mean? Just wasn't my thing. We moved around. I moved around so many years before we even got to Paint Branch, because I wasn't even from the area. So to me, it was like, I don't know none of these people out here besides where I live. But I would tell my kids that no matter what you go through, make sure that you have ambition, determination, set goals in your life, and try to check them off. You know what I mean? And don't allow distractions, because, you know, they're all there. Entertainment is going to always be there. Sometimes entertainment synonym should be distractions. But what else did I say? And focus. And, you know, and I'm big on it. You know what I'm saying? It's I know it's good to always have cash on hand, but I'm big on credit. You know what I'm saying? I always make sure my stuff is good. You know what I mean? And I want that to be a number that they chase too. You see what I'm saying? Let nothing under 700. You know what I'm saying? Nothing under 700 is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? And it's not wrong with it. Not saying it's nobody else. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make sure that you got goals and make sure that you just aim high. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very important. That's all.
Facts. Good shit. Conway, Campbell.
Edwin, you want to go?
Ready?
I mean, yeah, I'll be quick, because, you know, like, I don't got kids yet. You know, the plan for us, you know, God willing, we have kids next year, if it's God's will. But what I would tell my kids is basically learn how to be your own boss. Like, learn how to own something, because, you know, the way I was raised is go to school, get good grades, and work but work for somebody else. And I've been working for myself since 2013. And it's a struggle. But I also have no playbook. I'm just playing this shit by ear. I want to be able to learn enough to hand my kids a playbook. Like, hey, take your ass to school after high school. If you got a trade that you're good at, go to trade school. You don't got to go to university because, like, if you're going to go to university, dog, that's a lot of bread for a piece of paper. But if you're good at something, there's nothing wrong with the trade. Like, whatever you choose to do it and own it and be your own boss, set your own hours, be able to pass on a legacy to the next generation. Because that's all I'm about now. I want to earn enough by the time I'm like 50 years old that I will have my kids straight. Then I can start thinking about my grandkids, like the next generation. Because that's the way I think. Like, I don't have no ego no more. Like, I don't got no kind of ego at all. Everything that I do is about the next generation. It got nothing to do with me no more. Like, I done did what I had to do. Right now, like, I just want to get my stuff right for the next generation. That's it.
Motherfucker, Sammy Sosa, Conway.
That's my guy. No, so we first started with like what we would tell our younger self, right? And so what I would tell my younger self is, don't try to carry your parents' load. Don't try to carry your mom's load.
Facts.
And the reason why I say that is because, like, I lost some of my childhood because I was trying to carry the burdens of my folks, of my parents. And I felt like I didn't necessarily have to. So I would never put my kids in that position because it steals from your focus, because you go from knowing who you are to chasing a dream so you can get some money so that you can help everybody out. And I think that's where that's where I lost who I was, right? So along with telling myself not to take on the burden of my parents, I will also tell myself to who are you when the lights go off and nobody's cheering for you? Who are you when those stadium lights go off and nobody's cheering for you? That's where, you know, where I'm at with it. And as far as my kids go, I'm with Edwin and others. Knowledge and understanding is an inheritance in its own. It doesn't always have to be financial. When you understand something and you are able to script it out in the situations that you've been through, that's something that you can hand over to your kids as a usable and viable resource. So that's important. And then also just giving them good affirmations to work with, you know, and parameters, because I think rules and parameters are important because those kids need those type of boundaries in order for you to be able to build with them. If they don't have boundaries, you can't build with them. They're going to always constantly push on what it is that they're trying to do. So, you know, I mean, with my kids, I tell them, where's the power? And they recite to me, and my powers in my mind, powers in my words, and powers in my heart. Right?
Affirmations, bro.
And the reason why that's so powerful is because in order for us to even get past and through trials and tribulations, if we tell ourselves something, we start to think about it. And when we start to think about it, it goes to our heart and we start to feel it.
Yeah.
And that's the reverse. So what you're spewing out right now in this moment is what's in your heart, going to your mind, coming out your mouth. So it's like mathematics. You have a formula to be able to help yourself push through. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I teach my kids that. They have no idea why I tell them that, but they also know the rule number one in my house is listen with your ears, a foundation. So they understand, even though they don't understand exactly why they're learning these things or reciting them, they're foundations for you to build on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really important when you're dealing with your children in a young age, is just to give them a foundation so that when you have these conversations later on in life, that you can actually build from, you're not building from scratch. You're working from a place that you've already created for them. And
they got a playbook.
Right. And they're safe and they're in a safe space. And always let them tell you how they feel about something, whether you like it or not.
Man,
so powerful,
that's,
what you've all
I
said.
love
So
hearing.
powerful.
Yeah, I was want to say, like, if I would have told my younger self was own my confidence, because I always had a belief that I was greater than others allowed me to believe, and it affected you know, even though I was always creative, it affected my confidence on where I could go with it. Because deep inside, I always knew I was going to go to LA, but I allowed a lot of people's opinions and allowed a lot of just the lack of the support and belief, even from my family and stuff, to destroy my self-esteem and my confidence. So over the years, when I was doing my careers and going to school, doing theater and doing the plays and stuff, I was doing it in a place of God speaking to my soul, saying, "This is what you're meant to do." But on the outside, I was just this depressed kid, and you know, I didn't get my first bit of happiness until I was like 23. I did like my first couple of plays. I did the play Bruce You Saw, and then I did like Cinderella and a couple of other plays. I was doing musicals, and I started to sense this bit of, I was like, I didn't even know what it was. Cause I never knew I didn't know I was not happy until I was like 23. And I was like, why do I feel so good now? I feel so good about myself. I was like, is this what happiness feel like? And it was like, I knew right there, I was like, this is what I meant to do, my theater, my career and stuff, because it was nothing like being on that stage. And then writing, I always wrote, and I always said I was gonna make movies, but I wasn't sure if I was really going to actually do it. It was something I was just always doing. So when I try to, I feel like I should have told my younger self to just own it and then achieve it and not allow people to destroy. Because even moving to LA, it took years. I'm 10 years here, and I'm just shedding off the anxiety and the baggage that I had from back home, because I carried a lot of baggage because I was a scatter. Y'all remember me? I was all over the fucking place. You know, people weren't there like, JT, I worried about you after high school. People have said that. You know, so I worried about me after high school. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. All I knew is I loved to write. I wanted to do theater. Everybody said it was crazy, but it's the power of God, man. Because even I was doubting myself. Something in my soul always said, do this, study this theater, do this play, do it. And I've always fell off of my soul, my intuition. Even when my mind is telling me, my intuition was saying, do this. That's why I came to LA. I was scared as fuck. That was the scariest decision in my life. But it was something saying, I cried 2 days before I left. I cried. There's a girl I was seeing at the time. We were like friends, but shit, I cried for like an hour straight in her arms. Because I was like, I'm about to be gone. I didn't know nobody out there. I didn't know nobody. I just knew I had this. I had a script. I had a play I just finished that I wrote and directed, Love Game. Charlotte, you was part of it just back in 2019. And when you saw it in 2013, because I had it multiple runs, and I had faith in God. I was just like, walk by faith, not by sight. And that's what survived me to this day now, because at least 150 times in a year, I thought about moving back. I always think about moving back. But I listened to this intuition that says, keep going. He wouldn't have blessed me with this much talent as an artist just to waste it sitting on my ass, working a fucking job, not knocking anybody for that, but he gave me these creative abilities for a reason. So I was like, I had a purpose I had to fulfill. And I wanted to be an inspiration. I knew, I was like, if I could do this and survive, don't tell me what impact this could have made. I didn't know if it was going to make that impact, but you know, that was the whole purpose I was hoping for when I moved to LA. You know, I was like, man, I just stuck this out. People gonna see what the fuck I was talking about the whole time. So, and I did. It's like right now I feel like I'm in my best groove in my life. Like things are just like, I'm 10 years here. I have a son. I got on the pod.
Yay.
Say what's up. Hey, you know,
Hey,
and guys like you guys who's been fathers and stuff, you guys have been big inspirations and stuff like that. Yeah. Let them know. Gucci bandana. He loves that go-go music too, you know, and it's in his blood. When I go come home, he just be beating them feet, you know. So, and what I want to tell him, I'm just going to tell him, just remain kind. You know, it's nothing wrong with being kind. People treat kind souls wrong, but I want him to just be kind, but with discipline. So we're going to get his ass in some martial arts. He's going to know how to kick people's ass, but without having to kick nobody's ass. You know, so, you know, because, you know, he's a happy baby. He's he smiles all the time. He, you know, only time he really cries is when he's hungry, you know, and like, I want him to be a happy baby, but you know, this world is cruel. They see happy people kind of like this. They want to destroy the happy, kind little, you know, souls and stuff like that. So I just want to prepare him for everything, you know, because that's, and I just want him to remain kind and always stay true and be decisive in his decision, especially as a Libra. He's a Libra. Libras are indecisive as fuck. So I just want to make sure he's decisive in his decisions and his actions and stuff like that, and know that he's loved and protected.
Hey, just remember the character traits are the things that you have to love. You can't, you know what I mean? When you give them stuff, you make sure you're giving them information, understanding, and giving them tasks. But don't, whatever character they take to the task, that's what you have to fall in love with and try to help guide. Because that all you are is a parameter, a guide. You can't. And so when you talk about indecisive, it's okay to be indecisive, but providing exercises that help him make decisions, that's what you know what I'm saying? So
that's what that's all I want to do. I just want to just know what you're making, why you're making the decisions, and just help find his purpose. Wherever he decides, because I didn't have the support. No one supported me. No one really believed. I had like 2 or 3 people that was like, that working family, it was like, yo, you're gonna take your ass to LA, you're gonna do this shit. So, and that affects you. So I want him to always, whatever he decided to do, whether it's sports, whether it's a doctor, whatever, he just wanna, whatever you want to do, if it's his passion, I'm support him. Guide him. We're gonna wrap this up soon, but I want to talk about fellas, ladies. We want to talk about the ladies.
I got something to say real quick, Dave. Real quick. By you being a new father, I would just say try not to overthink a lot. Try not to overthink it. Sometimes we do a lot by overthinking it. It's out of love and out of care, but sometimes what I found dealing with my son, and that don't work for everybody's son, is I find a common link that we have, which is anime. You know what I'm saying? And throughout us watching anime, I may pause the cartoon or whatever, and I may ask him questions to talk to him. Because right now already I have his attention through the anime, and don't try to press too hard because
get on that One Piece.
Some of the So just try to be receptive. Just try to be receptive to what they got to say. You know what I'm saying? And try not to overthink it and be too harsh, and you'll come back even if something you don't like what they did.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all these words. Like, I love it. I love this energy. This is definitely my favorite episode. This is 37 episodes in. This is the one right here.